It's that time of year where we sit down with politicians and people from this area to talk about the year that was. And joining me is Mayor Craig Copeland from Cold Lake. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
All right, thank you for having me.
Well, Craig, let's talk about the year that was in Cold Lake. I mean, so much obviously has happened. It's been quite a year, but personally, what are some of the things that you feel that the city has accomplished during the past 12 months?
Well, I think life is starting to return to normal. After COVID, it was a serious setback for everybody, of course. But for the city, one of the biggest accomplishment is finishing up on Kinnison Beach. Our beach is renowned across Canada now, one of the top beaches in Canada. And so we finished the last phase, and just the response we got from the community is overwhelming. And so it's great to finish that up just before Canada Day. And then another successful Cold Lake Air Show. It was just an amazing show that Four Wing put on. Community came out in big support. Over 20,000 people attended the air show. And then, a local group, all volunteers, exciting. Council gave them quite a bit of money, but the bike park. So we have a really nice bike park getting developed in the city, lots of trails, and then sort of a course down below. So those are big things that have kicked off over the summer. And then council starting to invest in our public works shop. Those that know our public works shop, it's like Sanford and Sons back in the day in the old TV show. And finally, we're happy that we can start looking at replacing that and building a new building for them.
You obviously you'll get a chance, Craig, to speak with people in the community because you've been in that chair for quite some time and everybody knows who you are. So what are some of the things that the people in the community talk to you about that they'd like to see changed? I mean, obviously taxes is a big thing. Nobody ever wants to pay taxes, but that's the bane of our existence. We have to do it if we want the services. So what are some of the things that the people in the community are talking to you about that they would like to see changed? And also probably I'm guessing asking you to help on a provincial level with some things as well.
Yeah, so it all depends on who it is. I know from the business community, the vagrancy, the crime is a big issue for downtown commercial. A lot of our residents also, whether you're inside the city or outside, people are getting vandalized. So I think, the number one kind of big issue people are talking about is crime and healthcare. A lot of people concerned about the state of where we're at in our community in terms of not enough doctors or the emerge department being shut down. But vagrancy was a big issue in our city this summer. It sort of happened right after the air show. It really started to creep up. We had a lot of people camping around the city, and so intense. And so it's become quite an issue. Downtown, people are scared to go into the work site. And so councils come in and really looked at a heavy enforcement aspect to it, taking down all of the tents that were popping up. And then at the same time, brought in some bylaws to for no loitering in the back alleys in the commercial district from midnight till 7 in the morning. And but we've also, on one hand, tried to help the people that are homeless, where we've given money to the John Howard Group to open up a shelter to get the people out of harm's way and with the weather here, and that should be opening in the coming weeks. But so crime, healthcare, vagrancy, those are big topics, and unfortunately, a lot of the topics really aren't a municipal issue. But in today's world, more and more problems are having to be dealt with by a municipality, and the tax base it just doesn't support that kind of funding, and we need help from the province and the federal government in a big way, especially on the operating side.
Will you be chatting with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith in the future about some of these issues, Craig, or have you spoken with her already?
Well, she can certainly campaign. I mean, when she did come out, I'd rather just have the community opportunity to speak about issues, but certainly the council will be meeting with the premier. All of the mayors in the Northeast region, mayors, reeves, Indigenous leaders all wrote to the premier and to the transportation minister about the state of Highway 28. Highway 28 is just a complete joke for the province, and they keep punting it down the road. They're talking about now other highways getting twin, which is Highway 3 in southern Alberta, which I have no problem with. But Highway 28 is what we call as the forgotten highway. And then they're talking about now a new road between Fort McMurray and Grand Prairie, and that was really stunning to hear. When Highway 16 to Lloyd needs a fresh coat of pavement, and Highway 28 there's no passing lanes for over 280 kilometers, and it's a hazard. It's just upsetting that the province just seems to forget about this side of from Lloydminster to Vague up to Lac La Biche and over to Cold Lake. If you look at all the different files, whether it's education, healthcare, roads, we're just not getting our share of the financial pie that the province divvies up. And all you got to do it, people may call me a whiner, but all you got to do is go down Highway 2, and you see all the interchanges that have been developed in the Edmonton area, going all the way down to Calgary and into the interchanges in Calgary, and you can see where all the money is being spent on the road network, and yet a lot of the wealth of our province comes from this zone.
Craig, obviously there are some issues that are frustrating that, as you just said, are a little bit out of your control, and everybody can talk about it. So heading into 2023, highways, is that one of the things that definitely is going to be on your list to deal with? And what else would be on that list of priorities for the new year?
Well, for all the municipalities in Alberta, what we're seeing is a reduction over the years. It doesn't matter which government it's been, because I've been in this business since 2007. There's been a total rake back by the province when it comes to funding for municipalities, for FCSS, for libraries. They're just not, they need to do a better job of investing in municipalities. And, we only get about 8 cents of the tax roll. And we are the service that all the residents, they see it on a daily basis. This was in a meeting the other night, and I challenge people to look at the amount of money they pay on their income tax versus what they pay for property tax. And so I think the province needs to come in and start investing in municipalities. So we're looking for MSI, or the replacement for MSI, to go back to what really should be sustainable money. Otherwise, you've got communities on the verge of some significant tax increases, or eventually communities are going to have to look at other options. But we're in a dire strait right now in some of the communities in Alberta, and Cold Lake is fine. We're still in holding our own, but because I follow a lot of other municipalities, this is tough times right now for the municipalities.
Well, Mayor Copeland, thank you so much for chatting with us today. It's always a pleasure speaking with you, and I want to wish you best wishes for the new year. And I know we'll be chatting with you again soon.
All right, thank you. You too. Merry Christmas, everybody.